Thank you for joining this session. And first, let me thank Zenith Bank for having me here to share in the learning series. It's really an honor to be here. And for all of you who have come, thank you for giving us some of your time. She has already introduced me, so I wouldn't talk too much. But one thing I want to say is that we are all in the same boat. If you're a business owner and you're here today, I'm not here to tell you theory. I'm here to share from my experience, and I'm sure that by the end of this session, some of us will go away feeling better in spite of what is happening in Nigeria. And so, apart from being a lecturer, I also have a food business where we manufacture palm oil, honey, and also cooking oil. So what we want to achieve today, by the end of this session, you should be able to identify solutions to help you make smart business moves in Nigeria of today, get some insights, and be empowered to make moves in these tough times. What will we be talking about? We'll be looking at an overview of the microeconomic situation. I'm not sharing any data, just a practical experience I'm sure you can all identify with. And how does it affect your business? But more importantly, how can you turn these challenges into smart business moves and take opportunities from them? And then I'll share two principles, only two, which is anti-fragility and how you need to go deep. And I will also give you some exciting case studies of Nigerian entrepreneurs who have succeeded in tough times. And like the Kelechi said, we'll have a quiz and a question and answer session. Please stay behind to participate in the quiz so that you can win something good. Before we continue, I'll just quickly share some ground rules. Well, everybody is on mute now. However, I encourage you to listen actively. Let's work together as a team. There might be times when I'll ask you some questions and expect you to respond in the chat box. Please cooperate with me. We are team members. And when we start question and answer sessions, and also in the chat room, as we ask questions, as we make comments, please let us respect other people's opinions. You may not agree with what they are saying, but kindly respect it. And then more importantly, participate actively in the quiz, and we guarantee you that we'll end on time today. So, what do I want to start with? We live in a VUCA world. Now there's plus DD. So what is a VUCA world? A VUCA world is a world where there's a lot of volatility, uncertainty, and it's complex and ambiguous. So it means that a lot of things are going to be changing. That's the world we live in. And this was coined in the early 90s. But what has happened again? In the past 5 years, we've had a very disruptive world, and the digital world has also changed a lot of things. So if before now you were worried about just volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, you now also have to add that there's a lot of disruption going on in different spaces. I mean, who would have imagined that the price of petroleum products in Nigeria will jump by almost 300%? Nobody. If you told me this January last year, I would have argued with you, right? And then who would have imagined that there would be a system that can write an essay for you and almost think like a human being? If you told me that, I would say no. My son was telling me about AI when it started, and I said, don't worry, AI can never do what human beings will do. And he said, but mommy, the machine is teaching itself, it's learning. I said, no, it cannot. Now artificial intelligence is doing so many things, and there's some panic that those of us who write, we are worried it will take our jobs, it will take this. And every time you listen to the tech people speak, it's like AI is going to disrupt the world, it will change the world. Oh, all work will be driven by AI. But I have good news for you. AI is not going to destroy the world. It's going to make us more efficient. And so the saying is that it is not artificial intelligence that will disrupt you. It is somebody who knows, who understands it and uses it that will disrupt you. So AI is here to help us. A lot of things are here to help us. However, we still have to deal with our reality. In Nigeria today, we have a cost of living, and I add cost of doing business crisis, high cost of petroleum products, high energy costs. I have a joke I share with my friends. I say we are going from band-aid to bandage, right? Then the devaluation of naira, hyperinflation, and food inflation. It's a lot. It is a lot. So there is no gainsaying that we are all going through some sort of tough time or the other. But do we give up? No, we don't. Because this hyperinflation, this high fuel costs, and the floating of naira is affecting all our businesses. It's affecting all our lives. It's affecting your business operations. I had to ask my son, I said, are we the only ones checking cost of living? He said, no, mommy, all my friends know what cost of living is. All my friends know the cost of everything. All my friends know this. And then at work, it's the same thing. With clients, it's the same thing. With customers, everywhere you go, everybody is talking. Everybody is talking. And here's a practical example. Last year, diesel and petrol for a small office was 250,000 per month. April 2023. April 2024 is like 600,000 per month. April 2023, band-aid power credits was like 40 to 60,000 a month. 2024 is like 80 to 150,000 naira a month. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished listeners and viewers, it is real. I want us to know that we are on the same page. So before I start sharing with you what will follow this, let us know that this is not motivational speaking. This is our reality. We are all on the same page. We are all going through some serious challenges. But there's something I like to tell people. I say I've seen this before. In my own lifetime, I've seen it like 3 times. I've seen it like 3 times. I gleaned it around 1976 or thereabouts. And then in 1982-83, we had austerity measures. I knew that there was a problem because all of a sudden, the cost of a carton of Omo was our detergent, they went to 16 naira. And then, again, in 1983-84, we had a major crisis in Nigeria where we had to queue to buy milk and sugar. For those of us old enough who remember essential commodities era. And that was the first time in my life I saw no vacancy. And I had to ask my mom, what does this mean? No vacancy everywhere. It was another turning point in Nigeria's economy. And after some time, we bounced back. From like 87, we had liberalization and deregulation. And the economy picked up, a lot of industries were open. And the economy was stable again until June 12 crisis came. And then we went into the doldrums for a long period between 93 and 98, when we began to prepare to the current democracy. We began to prepare to the transition to the current democracy from military rule. And from 1999, we had a period of plenty. And we thought we had seen Shege. Now we are seeing Shege Pro Max. But my dear brothers and sisters, is it the end? I'll say to you, no. Remember, I just told you that this thing has happened before. And it would always happen. There would always be cycles of economic boom and bust. So the first thing we need to do is don't panic. Don't panic, because we have to survive and thrive. But once you enter panic mode, you can't think clearly again. It happens to me sometimes. Once I enter panic mode, I can't think clearly again. So as much as possible, I don't panic. I avoid it. Even when I get into that space, I quickly tell myself that, no, madam, think smart. Think smart. Okay? Don't panic. There are still opportunities all around us. Last year, there was data that said that Nigerians did financial transactions of 600 trillion naira. Electronic financial transactions. 600 trillion naira. What's the budget of the federal government? 28 trillion. When you add that of all the states and FCT, it's less than 40 trillion. Maybe at best it will be 50 trillion. What does that mean? That means that out of that 600 trillion, electronic transfers or electronic financial transactions. If you check NIBS, you can Google it, you'll find it. If you check NIBS, it's a data that was released by NIBS, the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System. 600 trillion naira worth of financial transactions. It means that there are transactions going on. It means that business is going on in Nigeria. But if you join the people that say, hey, Nigeria don't finish, oh, hey, I don't die, oh, I go do this, you won't see any of the opportunities. So for me, look around you. Yes, things are changing, but look around you. Look at your current industry. What's happening around you? I am in education. I do business education. I do consulting. What has happened in that industry in the past 5 years? There has been a surge in online and digital services. So while I'm here saying I don't think it will work, I don't think there are people who are cashing out. I don't even want to mention their names. There are people who are doing things online. Look at Nigeria Branching. Look at Chioma, Accounting Hub, Steph. There are so many of them. And me, professor, I want to go class. I want to do this. If I don't look at what is happening in that industry, if I don't look at the new opportunities, I'll just be complaining. And it could happen in food as well. It could happen in fashion. While we are saying, oh, Nigeria is finished, there are people who are selling clothes of up to 10 million naira every month, sewing Ankara. And this is not theory. I can give you an example with my neighbor. I remember in 2016, she lost her job and she was trying to do stuff and it wasn't working. She went for her mother's burial, came back, and she had this fine stoned kaftan. I said, this is beautiful. Who is your tailor? She said, I made it myself. I said, what? Can you make for me? She said, no, I'm not ready. I said, what do you mean you're not ready? That's not the ready pass so now. I said, I beg, help me pimp my own blouse. I want to embellish my blouse. I gave her five of my tops. By the next day she brought them, they were so beautiful. I said, madam, go to town now. Go